In 2003, I created Healthy Asia Foundation, was the first foundation which started advocating cancer issues in our country. This was breast cancer and cervical cancer. I remember my first performance on television, going live on radio on these calls which were just coming non-stop. Everyone had only one question: is it true that you've survived cancer? I would say yes, it's true. I have survived cancer, I have beaten it, I couldn't go through this all by myself. It was worth the enormous effort, incredible strength, and great support that was needed. I'm grateful to fate that at that time I received the support. I went forward and said, why do we not have this? Why don't we have that? Why don't we still not have a mammogram screening program? Why are there only 8 mammogram machines in our country? So I've always asked such questions as why, but they weren't just questions, rather, some small positive reinforcements for me to take action in solving issues. This has eventually grown into projects: National Oncological Illnesses Awareness Program, which allowed the free medical examination of 87,000 women. We prepared an excellent document reflecting the results of our program. Right then, Kazakhstan started a very fine movement where mobile medical vehicles, portable mammogram machines were being bought. Consequently, the quantity of stationary mammogram machines increased, and they appeared in many district clinics and hospitals. This program to inform population, which we talk about all the time, has also worked and given its results, because women started attending breast scans smoothly. People realized that at the early stage it's treated very well. In 2005, I delivered the first batch of breast prostheses. We went to remote villages and presented these prostheses as gifts. This was uncontainable happiness, especially for women who didn't know about the existence of such things. I had breast cancer. It was the 3rd stage cancer containing malign growth. I had to go through a series of operations. Cancer is a disease that loves negative mentality, desperateness, and anger. If humans overcome these traits, don't hold them inside, and don't collect these negative emotions, cancer will go away. Cancer doesn't tolerate positive emotions. It doesn't like joy, happiness, and smiles. I had mastectomy. When I was suggested to make an operation, it was so hard to go for it. At that point, I thought, well, the absence of breasts isn't the main concern. After all, I have children, a son, a daughter, and a husband. I realized they needed me and they loved me anyway, no matter what. I cried only a little, but my husband cried every day. I didn't do it for some reason. I didn't cry. On the contrary, I put myself together and defied all of that. That's who I am. I didn't care much what was there ahead. Just after a while, I heard from friends, "Do you know how he cried?" I replied, "Oh yeah, it was touching for me." Maybe cancer was a challenge for him, and when it happened, I was crying at every corner, realizing what happens if he passes away. Once again, my knowledge was harming me. I understood that lung cancer is swift-flowing sort of cancer. We chose our own path. We have gone away. We didn't agree to operate. Moreover, we didn't allow to pierce this lung and haven't made biopsy. All in all, a very skillful radiologist confirmed with the picture, yes, this is cancer. Here it is. It's cancer. We walked out of the hospital and conducted treatment ourselves. I had a chance to take hormonal medicine, and they played a cruel joke with me. Atypical cells developed in my uterus body. The second time, I somehow got scared a lot. Perhaps the scale of the operation was very serious. The illness itself was serious. Why the second cancer? I've dug through tons of literature on women's cancer, its reasons and disease, recurrence, so my head was already full of such knowledge, and sometimes my knowledge was my enemy. Here is this knowledge played a low-down trick on me when I really got scared. I never tell my patients that everything will be all right. I tell them nothing extraordinary will happen, but we have time to live interestingly and meaningfully. Let's communicate with those whom we haven't contacted before. Let's talk to those whom we haven't spoken to yet. Let's forgive those whom you don't want to forgive. Let's meet those who are far away from you. But this is the right time to do it. Why would I lie to a person? Well, this won't be a good thing. Death is ahead, but we need to face it with dignity. Then I figured my mission is palliative therapy. My mission is in the hospice. However, in 2009, I was faced with the fact that childhood isn't protected in this field. That's why we have picked childhood. There's nothing harder than saying to a mother, this is not going to end well. Don't hope for anything. Your child is fading away. But let's try to make sure that the kid enjoys the time that he has left. Since then, I've started digging into the subject of palliative care, examining deeply how hospices function. It had been of primary importance for me to grasp the meaning of what a hospice was. So I understood that a hospice isn't the house of death. It's not an establishment where everyone dies. No, a hospice is translated as a break. The break which is given to the family and close friends, where care is provided by qualified specialists, in other words, by those who can do it. And thus, our primary goal is the preparation of specialists. These kids are seriously ill. Predominantly, we have children with stage 4 cancer. These are children who do not always have successful remission. We always hope that during 5 years a child will revive, but no some relapse occurs, and we inevitably have to go through radiotherapy and palliative therapy again. That's why this break gives an opportunity for mothers to have some rest. It also gives a break to these kids because they get tired from overprotection of their parents. Here we cook the food which is allowed at all times, and there is no unhealthy food, no temptation, you know what I mean? This food is prepared very well, it's certainly delicious. There are a few things that are allowed: swimming in the pool, fitness in the gym, sessions with a psychologist and a speech therapist. In fact, our children have inarticulate speech as a result of chemotherapy. They go through trainings aimed at mutual help called I'm With You. This is our slogan. These trainings give kids a chance to integrate in society easier. They aren't ready to go out there. They aren't stress resilient. They can handle peer pressure from classmates. Why are you bald? Why do you have scars on the head? Why don't you have an eye? Why do you have instead of an eye? Schoolmates ask directly. Our children aren't ready for this. Here our kids don't lie, because after all, here we fight for life. Here we try to support them for some time, a year, half a year, a month, maybe half a month. The time that we have won is priceless and victorious. Kids who come and receive medical help here get intravenous infusions, lavages, immunomodulatory therapy. Once again, healthy diet, caretaking, once again sessions with a psychologist, and communication with people. I have one multiple children family which sends us 777 tenge every month, but you know how happy we feel because they even write us a little help from our multiple children family. Let all children be healthy, they say. These are human beings with real human souls and an enormous heart. I ask for my Kazakhstan children who live on this earth, who will be the future of this country. I want them to survive and to become this future. I don't want them to die. And if one of them dies, let him go decently with dignity. I collect money for funerals. I raise money for fences because I don't want my children's graves to be dug, to be stamped on by dogs or cows who graze on the cemeteries. At least something must be fenced. I want to put at least some memorial there so that it exists on this land, and I will keep doing that. I'm not walking away from it. I chose this mission and I'm going to continue. I'm a palliative caregiver.
Наверное, все-таки чуть-чуть, и я волшебник. А почему? Потому что когда я прихожу сюда, привезли...
Perhaps I'm more or less a wizard. Why? Because when I come here and there's a new deeply sick child, he's sitting in silence, not communicating to anyone. I take a seat beside him and we sit together in silence. I say, well, we've been silent for a while. He says, yes. Are you any better? Yes. I say, me too. Let's work together. Go to psychologist, draw a bit. He then stands up and goes there. The next day I come, he's sitting there in a group smiling in the crowd, and when the rest of the kids runs to hug me. This is a miracle, small but magical. Why? Because you must understand a child. He just comes to a new environment, to a new house. These are all new conditions. Has never seen a flush toilet or water in the tap because he doesn't live in such atmosphere. Here he squeezes himself, sits down on this armchair. We call it a magical armchair, and he keeps sitting there, shrinking. I sense a fear in him. He's scared. Others don't have this experience. That's why I take a seat next to him, hug him, and we sit together for a while.
Поэтому я сажусь рядом, обнимаю его, и мы с ним сидим. Бог не дает эти заболевания, Бог не дает эту болезнь. Это мы взрослые.
God doesn't give these illnesses. God doesn't give this sickness. It's us, adults, with our behavior, our lifestyle. Today I've come to a good conclusion. These are mothers who are sick themselves with thyroid, anemia, iron deficiency, some gynecological disorders. The second category of mothers are those mothers who don't want this child. That's how it affects the child psychologically. So these babies aren't desired from the very beginning. Therefore, they arrive to this world unwanted and sick.
И вот эта нежеланность, она высказывается психологически на ребенке, и он уже внутри, он не нужен.
And so the third category is young mothers who've accidentally got pregnant. Many of them don't have husbands. They aren't married, and in many cases we find out that women attempt to make artificial abortions. In a sense, they do everything to get rid of this baby. This is the third category of mothers who bring us these sick children. There are genetical types of cancer which are caused by incest and can be traced in small indigenous groups. Sadly, such things occur.
И есть категория наследственные, генетические раки. Есть смешанные браки, которые встречаются среди малочисленной национальности населения.
And the last factor, well, I place it at the end, it is ecological factor. This is environment. Just like the mother or child has low immunity level, which is a fact leading to a cancer. Well, perhaps it's impossible to cope with such enormous stress. This expression isn't strong enough, maybe. The first thing I can say, I never bury my children. I don't attend funerals, despite many invitations. Parents write to us, funerals are taking place tomorrow. Funerals are taking place the day after tomorrow. Moreover, I don't allow the staff to bury our children.
As for the death, Nagima Plokhikh prepares us for this every time in advance. Whenever we go to children's funerals, we must remember a child alive. Because with every death, we experience a burnout. If we suffered together with parents, we wouldn't be able to work with other children and lead them further. We try to pay attention to those children who conquer the sickness and to those who need us right at this moment.
Children don't die, they just fly away from us. Kids become butterflies, and they float to God. We must believe.